going from the first to fifth dimension represented by flower of life spaces in between numbers of a clock used in geometry outlines. Notice how it goes in spacing from 1 space to 3 spaces to 5 spaces in between the fives on a clock. Perhaps it symbolizes going from a 1D, one-dimensional world to a 3D, three-dimensional world to a 5-dimensional world. If you think about light and colors, we have primary, first, secondary, and tertiary colors. In our 3D world, we tend to think of these colors as primary, red, yellow, blue, secondary, orange, green, purple, and tertiary, lime, indigo, turquoise, red, orange, yellow, orange, and magenta. Coincidentally, we have 7 notes in a linear scale, 7 colors of light in our 3D world of only primary and secondary colors with 1 tertiary color. Going to the 5th dimension, when taking the middle value of every 7th chakra value to get 12 chakras, the notes and colors don't add up in a linear sense. So who's to say that coming from the 1st to 3rd dimension lined up in a perfectly straight fashion, as opposed to our multi-dimensional weaving skills that intersects values just to amuse our twisted minds? That throws linear thinkers into knots of opposition. But first, let's look at the flower of life spacing between the clock. The golden dot outlined in red represents either 1 spacing between the 3 numbers of the clock vertically in the 12 to 6 position and horizontally in the 9 to 3 position, or it represents the 1 center space of the cross. Dot represents 1 point on a line. The lines that form a square connect 3 spaces either going vertically or horizontally. This represents a 3D dimensional line with XYZ for its dimensions that go in a square, not a circle, since the shape of a square can be done with lines going in one direction for height, width, depth, as opposed to the first dimensional point. 5D, or the 5th dimension, is represented with an X in each space going in a cross that goes 5 spaces across horizontally and 5 spaces up and down. That is a vertical line. This forms the shape of a cross from the 5 spaces between 12 and 6 vertically and 3 to 9 horizontally. Yes, it could represent the Holy Cross perhaps, or perhaps it represents the twists or weavings of multidimensional twisted souls who like to connect or intersect values and ideas to result in multiple ways of seeing one universe as opposed to one way to see the universe in linear terms. Not to mention, one has to go 2 ways to make the shape of a cross, which really represents the 2 directions of going inwards and outwards, not really vertically or horizontally, in order to form an arched nonlinear sphere that intersects the 1st and 3rd dimensional world. Back to light and primary, secondary, and tertiary colors. Before we had color TV, we had only black and white TV, or the grayscale, which consists of the spectrum from white 0% to black 100%. 1. Measuring white 0% black. Black equals 100%. Black with gray shades ranging from 0% to 100%, which connects to the red, green, blue colors of our 3D world of primary and secondary colors. But yellow, red, and blue doesn't match up with the 3 gray colors, red, green, and blue. That codes for the grayscale for black and white. So the values do not match up like the cards do in Old Maid with identical values to measure light and sound. So basically, connecting point A, 1D, to point B, or should I say point Z, 3D, becomes a line going from A to Z. And the multidimensional world takes a step farther by not only connecting the 1st and 2nd dimensions at one end of the string, but actually intersecting both ends to the very center of the universe to make ends meet for seeing the big picture. And Twill do this as even equal as symmetry can be from start to finish, since we don't do anything halfway, right? 3D linear humans tend to get back on their feet and have a good head on their shoulders if they value linear concepts of success such as wealth, material, and power, you could say. They need to use their heads to get somewhere in life by heading on the right path. Hence, from head to toe, for linear values of 3 minds happens to be the two ends of the 7 chakra system, red, purple, or 1 and 7, or C to B. Then there's the multidimensional fruit baskets. From countless weavings of ideas going back and forth that just seem to run in circles to the third eye, because we take things to heart and put our hearts into the heart of the issue or idea, concept that we're passionate with at that moment. We tend to get nowhere, yet we've tried everything, or we're running all over creation and landing back where we started. So by putting our heart to the problem, we take it to the end before we're finished, perhaps making ends meet appear as if we're going nowhere, but in reality, we're running circles around it. As Einstein said, general idea, not specific quoting, I would say, knowledge is limited and will get you from point A to point B to make line Z, but creativity encircles the world. As we connect dots along any way without going in any particular direction or path, there is no one way or right way to us, so our path becomes a grid system, heading in all directions to make ends meet without getting ahead in life, with no tail end, but really getting at the heart of things. Enough babblings, though. For light going from primary to tertiary, red plus blue equals purple, secondary plus blue equals indigo, which is a tertiary color. 3 colors plus 4 colors equals 5 colors for the fifth dimension.